Let's go, boys. Let's fucking go. Let me show you guys this. Cause you guys see that? 7% United States. And this is the same phone. This isn't even the Swish phone. The Swish phone is the one I'm posting on right now because I made a second USA phone. My mentor told me to make a second one because the first one might be fucked, since every single account I was going viral on kept going to India, Mexico, every single country you did not want to target, man. And so I made a second one, which is the one I'm filming with right now. And what I did also was, which I already planned to do before I had a call with my mentor, and so that's why I still did it, which was to make a new Instagram account on a new Gmail, not the old one, which is logical for you guys, but I was making new accounts on the same Gmail every single time. And yeah, I'm running the Krusty Krab, which is that. I'm running it again on a new account, which is I just posted, and that's a very American product. SpongeBob is very American, which could be why we have so good. But I mean, first video only got 800 views, which is fine. But 67% United States, which means we are chilling, boys. I mean, which means that the content can go viral in the United States, whether it be for this product or for another product. I have all three custom Alibaba products, which are currently being shipped out right now. I get called so many times by UPS. They were supposed to be brought today, and none of them arrived because I just didn't answer my phone at 4:15, exactly when they called, because I was editing and I turned my vibrations off, because I always have them off. I just didn't realize they were being shipped out today. And so yeah, we kind of fucked that up, but normally they should be shipped out tomorrow. And so tomorrow we should receive minimum 2 products, which are both bangers, like custom Alibaba A to Z, brand new, designed by myself, Alex Mazul, boys. And yeah, they're great. They're really good. So I'm just looking forward to test, this. So basically what the idea I got with this is on my mentor with Anthony, he showed me Dylan's product, which I'm not gonna reveal because, but props to Dylan. He did a really good job. His videos aren't insane, but like he did a good job, right? I mean, he made 100K in a month, basically, from my understanding, 90K in 3 weeks with that product. And I realized, well, what if we do similar content style, but with the Krusty Krab, and like kind of, play into this in his vibe, in his marketing angle, right? Compared to what I did last year with this product, which was still made like 10K rev, or like 10, which was more just on beat type with music videos. So yeah, that's the current setup. And yeah, I have my work playlist right now. We're listening to like ancient Greece stuff, and it was just great. I was posting, and sometimes I'll listen to like actual just slowed music, and I was kind of sick of it, so I just started playing this, and then boom, I started posting, and then we saw 67% United States, and I was like, we have to film a PB clip, man. We just have to. This is pretty cool. I mean, bro. Okay, so today is the 2nd of June, Tuesday, and drop day for this skateboard, which was the product that I did the drop on, was last Friday at midnight for me, Friday midnight, and Friday 2 p.m. on the 29th of May for people in New York. That was the time zone I chose. Now, this drop was physically very unsuccessful. We did, I think, 700 in revenue. I woke up at midnight just to set up everything, because the drop was at midnight exactly for my time zone in Vietnam. And we did like one sale as soon as I opened, and that's it. And then, after the next few days, 48 hours, we racked up about $700 in revenue, which is horrible. To give you guys a bit of reference. Now, obviously, this was a skateboard, and we learned so much from this. So objectively speaking, I said physically speaking, this was tremendously bad. Objectively speaking, this was a very successful drop. Now, financially speaking, it was not. But I learned so much, like how to actually run the drop, how to run Bravo emails. Well, not Bravo, actually. I'm probably going to use a more normal Shopify mail, but for that, you need a store with history and with history of orders, which I have. So I'm going to open up new stores to collect emails from, because otherwise you can't even send out emails if it doesn't have history. Like, there are a bunch of things. The content, especially the content. So basically, we went crazy viral. We got 5 million views total, probably 6, 7, 8, I don't know, million views. But we had probably 5% to 10% United States, and the rest was Mexico, Brazil, all the countries you don't want, right? And because of this, it did not convert. All of the sales we got were from United States, And even then again, 5% of 8 million views or 5 million views, you know, that's still 100K. No, probably way more than that. I haven't done the maths. I have no clue. But like six figures in multi-six figures in sale in views, right? From that, we should have gotten way more email signups and way more sales than we did. A point of reference for a clothing brand, which wasn't a skateboard, but I know a clothing brand who did in Q4 last year for 2 million views, they did a 100K day drop, or like 100 to 150K, right? Now, obviously, this is a skateboard, it's not a piece of clothing, which can explain why that didn't happen, but just to get you guys on the same page, so that's what happened. We have $700 in revenue, except what I also realized is that I priced it basically 2 times too low, because I didn't really understand I didn't realize how expensive the shipping costs would be. I thought they would be like 15 to 20 bucks. They're like 45 bucks. And so I sold it at 69 USD and it cost me 69 USD to fulfill. So I sent an email this morning to all the customers telling them either they can get a full refund or we can just tell them to pay double. But ideally they just get a refund, because I mean, for $700 in revenue, I don't really care if I make 350, right? And the main point is that there's in theory 50 MOQ, which obviously you can negotiate for lower MOQ, but just higher unit price. But ideally, obviously, we don't need to waste all our time on that. However, it would be quite practical to do that in the sense that we can practice ordering the units, getting them shipped out, etc. Now, low sales, yeah. So basically, what I also noticed was that as soon as I wasn't sad at all, right? Because I've been this in the game and this is objectively really good. However, what I did do is, because now that I have a lot of products, a lot of momentum going on, as soon as I did the drop, the exact same day, so on Saturday, right, I started running a new brand, two new brands, and we have the box for one of the brands, the packaging basically, that they hadn't shipped with the sample, which is arriving tomorrow on Wednesday. But either way, so we had to drop on Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, we kept getting a little bit of sales. And on starting Saturday, I started a new brand properly, 2 new brands really. But one of them is a brand, the other is more like it's a brand, but it's not as branded, right? It's not like purely custom, it's just an AliExpress product. And we're basically replacing that, that sense of, fuck man, this didn't work. We're just, good man, now we know the fucking strategy. Let's just run this shit on a bunch of new things. And Anthony put 4 tips on his core community to get more US-based audiences, which are relatively self-explanatory, but he basically argued that Instagram knows that everybody wants to go viral in the US, and they consider that best videos go to US, and then least good videos or medium videos go viral, but in lower tier countries, and then horrible videos don't go viral, right? So you have 3 stages. You have a shit video, which doesn't go viral, a mid video, which goes viral, but in low tier countries, and then a high quality video, which goes viral in the United States. That's his argument. I think he has a fair point. No matter, really, it's just going to push me to make better content. So I think it's way more, it's a good idea to install this belief, which was what I've done, and that's what I'm doing with the content. However, what I've also learned with the skateboard is that with the skateboard, I was posting on an account where I was getting 300 to 500 views for the first 10 videos. Now, I didn't know what was going on, on Instagram, right? And all I did was post on a new account that was healthy, right? That I'd gone viral with previously, except we went first product to United States, didn't convert. Then I ran a second product on that account, which went to India. Then I stopped posting on that account for a month, and I restarted with the skateboard. And those videos, the first 5, after 2 videos, we started going viral on the skateboard. And the content did not get that much better at all, right? So I understand that it was purely an account problem and not a video problem. But we went viral at the start, United States, and then later Mexico, Brazil, which is what caused the problems with the audiences with the skateboard. However, what that taught me was my content. I've been doing this for 3 years, 4 years, man. Okay, my content is top notch. So, and especially if the product is a new custom AliExpress product or new custom Alibaba product, the problem is not the product, nor is it the content, right? For example, right now, new brand, the product is insane, and I'm part of the niche. I'm partially part of the niche. 5 years ago would have been significantly more in the niche, but because I used to be more of it, then obviously I still have quite enough references, and I understand that the content, objectively speaking, is really good. This is viral, maybe not 10 million views, maybe not 20 million views, right? But this is easily, 1 to 5 million view videos, very easily. And so I was analyzing this morning, trying to find the problem, compare my video with the inspirational videos. Obviously, it's not competitor because this is a new custom Alibaba product. And our videos are, if not better, at the same point. And they got, 1 to 5 million views. And I just know, like, based on the skateboard, this is what I've really learned. The problem now, I did content iteration, okay? So our content, I maxed out, I was content maxing, okay? Then I conversion maxed. Now I have a method, I have a system for content, I have a system for converting, right? Even though I didn't convert, I have systems for these that I know work, right? Going viral is very easy for me, and converting is very easy for me. Getting the right audience. So this is gonna be account health and proper United States targeting. And that's what we're iterating on, and that's why it's gonna fucking work. Because what else do you wanna iterate apart from these 3 things? If you have a good audience, you have a healthy account, so obviously you're naturally gonna go viral. And if you naturally go viral and you convert well, then you make sales. And if you make sales, the only remaining factor would be sourcing and refunds, except I'm just gonna be a smart little kid and not fuck that up. All that to say that we do have a lot of momentum and we're just scaling, and I have a strong intention in the fact that we're going to hit 6 figures with organic really fast, and then we just follow on the next chapters that I have in my Transcendence workbooks, right? Now, also, right, we have a new room layout. So I used to have a desk right here, okay, right there, and I've moved it so that we have my main desk that I work at right here, another desk right here. So this, I can add the bed sheets on, the white bed sheets, to have a white desk if needed. And then we have the desk over there, which is my Shopify store desk here. And I really like this setup. So originally I just did it so that I can have a studio layout here. So the studio layout's not set up because I need to film in, next 5 minutes. And unfortunately, this is taking too long. I had a cleaning lady come here, which I'm very, very grateful for. And what the fuck? So we do have a studio layout here. So this is like pure white wall, everything perfect. So this is for my studio layouts, for brand shots and clips, generally speaking, when I'm wearing or showcasing the types of products I'm running. And that was purely the main objective at first. And previously, Charlie Morgan has talked about moving out of your parents' house, and when you rent your own apartment, get like a T2, or not a T2 actually, get like a proper apartment where you have a different room for your working room and your living room, okay? And then your working room becomes, there's kind of the safe haven place where it's chill and you're not just working and going through resistance, right? Not that saying that work is painful, because I love the work that I do now, but when you start off, it is, right? And objectively speaking, I suppose it is in comparison to other things. Now, I really like the setup because, and I only did it like 48 hours ago, but my bed feels like a fucking safe haven now, okay? And this is not even the same room, and this is not even a different room, okay? But just so you guys have a clear point, so you come in my room and it's like divided in 2. Like that spot over there, right? It doesn't feel much like work, even though it's a filming spot. So you come in here and you have like a line, right, of straight work. This is the work zone. Now you imagine a wall that was coming up, a wall right here, okay? Then a door, okay? And boom, now you have this safe haven type shit with my bed. This is what it feels like internally. So I'm very grateful that I did it, and it's been helping me. Also, sleep cycle. So I've been sleeping about 7.4 hours, no, 7 hours and 40 minutes, not 7.4, so 7.65, 7.7 hours a night on average in the month of May, and I felt more tired, bro, more tired than when I was sleeping, 7, and I think it might be due to sleep cycles, considering that I wake up, because during the day I won't feel tired, but when I wake up, I'll feel mega tired. And because I have Alarmy, I don't fall back to sleep. But if I didn't have Alarmy, and I had the normal alarm setup, I would be falling back to sleep. I'm certain of it. So I'm gonna try sleeping less and sleeping in 7 hours 30 exactly, I believe, and figure out what time exactly is best for me to finish at the end of my cycle, and see if my sleep or my tiredness feeling, my grogginess dissipates and disappears with that input. Right, now so iterating on new audiences, as we previously said, and I also noticed that I was putting a lot of very high output stats. I was basically getting 100% output days, or 90 to 95% output days too consistently. Like I put 95%, yeah, and objectively speaking, there was 95%. I did 95% or 100% of everything I was planning to do today. right? And that's very good because you want that to be norm. However, I'm now in a point where I am imposing the task. I'm making it practically impossible to get 100% on the tasks because I'm making them much shorter than they should objectively be. For example, this morning, and even then again, even with that in place, I'll still be in advance. For example, this morning, I'm not going to show you my calendar because, we can show my calendar. Nobody sees these videos. Actually, I can't. There's no point. So, we were in advance, even though I put really little time for things, right? And I don't want to rush myself, but I want to have this sense of fucking urgency. Now, when I'm filming these videos, this is kind of like my rest time for me, because talking to a random camera where I don't really have a time limit, I speak until the bullet points I've written down to say are gone, right? But this morning, it's always in a state. I've been doing this for 3 days now, where I'll make the tasks much shorter than I would previously put. For example, if originally I would say editing a video takes me 30 minutes, I'll say 15 or like 25, or like instead of 45, then I'll be 30, and I'll try to really shorten the time that I put. Planning, for example, I would oftentimes overestimate and say it's going to take me 45 minutes to plan this, to find a solution. Now I'll be like 30 minutes, get it done, get it done or don't get it done. And if it takes me longer than then I'll take the time to do it properly. However, then I have even more urgency for the next tasks because I have 15 minutes delay on the task of my calendar. Now that's what can happen. Now you finish the day with only 95%, because obviously I'm not going to ruin my bedtime or delay it, because then that's going to put effect on the past day. But then what happens is that you have even though you're not theoretically at 100% on your output stats, you're getting way more done than you would previously have gotten with 100% output stats, because you're just compacting your calendar with a lot more stuff, right? And that's what I'm currently doing, and it's fucking wonderful. Now, we also have actual move fast. Yeah, so it's generally speaking a fact of speed, and my current main point is the skateboard I'm cutting probably, because we have converting issues with the audiences and the sourcing issues. I'm running 2 products right now, 3. I don't know. We're posting about 6 videos a day, and it's going great. And what I also noticed was that in the month of May, I tested like 7 or 8 products. And then I went back because I was doing my counting today. So, I write down all the products I wrote, how much it each generate, things like that. And the first week of May, we were still testing products I completely forgot about. And this is really good because it's a sign that we have a lot of momentum and a lot of stuff going on. Now, I'll say you don't want to be switching constantly, but as I previously mentioned, I think my best bet is not sticking to one product, but sticking to a good organic and, going through multiple different products and just going viral with the right audiences. And that's what we're doing. And after organic, we have a bunch of steps, which I have a form of excitement towards, but we don't want to get distracted with future steps, and we just want to scale organic to 6 figures first, and that's what we're doing. And it'll be very easy to do, maybe this month, maybe next month. I don't have a time on this objective at all. It'll get done no matter, right? It's a destiny. You cannot escape your own destiny. Why did that bring you back to me, motherfuckers? So that's about it. And I also noticed that accounting, when I did my accounting today, we are broke, boys, financially this fucking year. But then again, this is great because this is like Q1, Q2. I think I've lost maybe 1 point something K USD, 1.5 since at the start of the year in net profit, because I spent a lot of money on custom products and things like that, which I'm right now running. So, they're going to materialize in financial gains in the next few weeks, next few months. And we'll make the money back, and probably way more, since we're scaling organic to 6 figures. And then after that, we scale with, the next chapters, which are going to be great. Now, in previous years, I would always be netting profit. So either I make $60 that month, 5K was my biggest month in October 2025. But then again, it went back down, and it was all just fucking dog shit. And if I'm swearing a lot, and if I had spent a lot, it was purely because I bought a MacBook or because I bought my monitor, things like that. Whereas here, we just spent 1.5K on products, okay, on e-com related things, which is great. And we're just gonna scale, and as I said, iterate on the audiences, because we know the content is really, really good. Easy 1 to 5 million views, which is all you need with this type of product because of the previous examples I've stated. And iterate. Sometimes you think, you're like, oh shit, man, why did we not get sales? And I didn't really have those thoughts, but previously I would have. I slowly did. I was like, I wasn't, I didn't have any form of expectation. And I'm just greatly grateful that we did this, because now I understand how to run Shopify drops. I have systems now for them. I set it up. So this is really, really good. And we're just going to scale with the products that we have and iterate on healthy accounts, because now I understand, in comparison to previously where I thought that everything was purely, is your content good or not? And now I understand that no, your account health does matter, and you don't want to push it on towards that, because if your content's shit, your content's shit. But yeah, and also I wanted to say that we have a lot of targeting issues, man. New account, completely new account on the second US phone that I made, purely with only 3 accounts, Instagram accounts on US everything. 5 videos, only like 100 to 200 views each, and boom, 80% Mexico, 60% Mexico. The CrossFit Blocks account that I showed you guys with 67% United States previously, I cut because we have a bunch of custom products to run right now. And basically, sure, it was 67% United States, but a lot of accounts were burners. I had like 35 followers for barely any views, because burners were just following me. But that's not why I cut it. I just cut it because we have other products to run that are better, because they're all custom, whereas this is just an old SpongeBob product that I tried the Dylan content style with for like 10 videos, and we didn't go viral, so that's fine, but that is what it is. And it's a good example to show everything I do is really, really fast, and I'm trying to increase the speed, the vector speed at which I'm moving. And yeah, also I noticed that I have really poor articulation, so we're going to need to improve. See, we're going to need to improve on that. But every day when I'm reading my Transcendence workbook, I put a pen in my mouth. So I'll be reading my Transcendence workbook like this. So I'll be reading Alex Rizzo, it's physically free. And then when I talk again, you see now I'm articulating naturally a lot more. Yeah, that's just a funny thing. I just got back from the gym. Today is the exact same day in which I filmed my previous clip. And cooking some chicken right now, because we switched from tuna and sardines to chicken, because there's no not calcium, du fer. So I don't know, there were bad substances in sardines. Apart from omega-3 is good, but there's because it's in cans, there are bad substances. We have like okay, never mind. And I was coming back from the gym. And at the gym, sometimes I'll listen to David Goggins, sometimes I'll listen to piano, sometimes I'll listen to orchestral music, sometimes I'll just listen to beat music like Stereo Love. It depends. I'm not bound or binary on what I listen to. But coming back to the gym, there was lightning, right? And I had the thought. Okay, usually I wouldn't, accept these thoughts as to be mine, but I had this thought. And I'm going to first explain the thought, and then my interpretation. So I was thinking, there was lightning. I was like, what if I just got struck by lightning and I died, and now boom, the pain that I'm going through is now gone. Like, feel a sense of liberation. I was contemplating that. Now, it might sound ridiculous, and I think, partially exaggerated it. And I partially exaggerated, but this is a type of thought that rarely happens to me, and that I would naturally just consider to be a pendulum, right? So, for those of you that don't know, I'm not going to explain that actually, but, so I would either, usually, actually, it's been so long since I've had a thought like this, but since I just had one, I figured I'd start a YouTube video whilst I'm cooking this chicken. But one interpretation, right, would be that it's just a pendulum that hooked onto some sort of excess potential I had. Maybe I had excess potential in staying alive, truth be told. And so when the lightning happened, well, pendulum hooked that onto me to try and generate a sense of fear of dying. I don't know. But then again, not, because it was circulated around the idea that, sure, I've been doing this for 4 years. We've made 1 billion views. We've been working for fucking 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day on average. You add an hour extra of development, 30 minutes of visualizing every day. We're at 7.5 hours of consistent work every single day for the last 3 to 4 years. Instead of doing what a normal teenager would do, right? Then, let me first finish this, right? And, I was Like it's not painful at all because I wouldn't like be doing anything other than this. Does that make sense? Like that's why when I think about it back objectively, this thought, right, is ridiculous because objectively speaking, I wouldn't like my life if it was anything other than this. Does that make sense? Because if I was doing anything other than what I'm currently doing, I would have no sense of meaning or fulfillment. I would be bored. And I know that to be true because without doing it, I'm addicted to the work, right? And I love the work. I love the growth. And I love iterating. However, I think it's worth, saying in this little clip, whilst I'm always, I follow the reality transferring principles and I try to, and, I'm not perfect and I'm still, developing, but, it's a large book on quantum physics, so you can't just apply everything perfectly straight away. But, I read it a year and a half ago. Nevertheless, it's still not at least for me personally, it's not an easy thing, right? Now, I enjoy the work, but when you think about it objectively, in terms of biochemistry or biology, I have not received many, dopamine molecules in comparison to the amount of work I've done. And I thought about this a few days ago. And so the second thing, before I develop onto that, which I'm going to remember to do, is that I know Charlie Morgan had, and I'm going to bring back to Charlie Morgan, but I know a little bit of information about him because I think he's, quite an interesting and intelligent person. And I'm sure he considers himself to be not intelligent, but nevertheless. And he's had instances when he was in his 19, 20, before he was successful, where he was thinking of crashing his car in just a slight crash, so that he wouldn't have to go and do cold calls at his job. He was doing cold calls for his job and for his agency. And obviously, I think that's another example of how, is it just pendulums hooking onto excess potential, right? And because of this, oh shit, this is cooking way too fast. Oh shit. And because of this, well, you have these thoughts which aren't yours, they're just pendulums, right? Or is it just a normal biological, system 1 reaction? System 1 from thinking fast and slow. Most of you guys don't know what that is, but just like a normal, automated subconscious or unconscious, reminder that, yo, what's up, boy? What are you, doing with all of this for very little amounts of dopamine in exchange, or like, social status or competence, right? And then again, I think competence is the wrong word because I've developed an insane amount of competence, and that competence is currently materializing into financial success, right? And so within a few weeks or within a few months or however long it takes, no matter, that competence is naturally going to materialize into financial gain because you get paid, your income gets capped at the complexity of the problem that you solve. And the more competent you become, then the higher the complexity of the problems you can solve, or the higher the complexity or the intensity of the value that you can provide, right? And that's the second thought. So 1 is that it's either a pendulum, or 2 is a biological reaction. That's what I just, improvised on the spot whilst recording this. But this is kind of like a journal entry. And yeah, either way, I thought I might make this one because I'm always, relatively detached. I think I'm somewhat, coherent with, reality transurfing principles, and I have low excess potential and things of that matter. And so as a result of that, pendulums don't necessarily hook onto me as much as they could. However, considering I just had this thought, I thought I'd share this clip. And what I also previously wanted to say, was that I saw in the Charlie Morgan video. So I watched one, I often watch his videos, sometimes like at school, if I understand that I don't have other work to do on my small little school computer and things of that genre. But I remember he was explaining how, the ability to delay gratification. Now this is a very, general concept which everyone knows, but he explained it in a matter that, being successful is all about being able to delay the work, to delay the dopamine that you receive from doing the work. And as a result from that, well, you often tend to receive larger sums of dopamine in proportion to that. And that's an intuitive, biological response or thing to have, right? And so he was explaining. So this video was filmed like 2 years ago, I believe, or posted 2 years ago. And he was explaining how, I'm saying this from memory, right? Because it was a little bit ago, but people who, your ability to delay the gratification is directly correlated to how effective your work is going to be, because if you have lots of instant dopamine activities in your day-to-day life, then your brain gets wired to that, and the only reason you struggle to do the work in the first place, and then again, that might be a limiting belief, which reality transurfing would, say, why would you struggle to do the work? That's false. You're just being hooked up by pendulums into thinking that you're struggling to do the work. But I digress. What I was going to say was that, exactly, so he talks about how, the ability to, delay gratification is important. And I was, trying to think of, and it resonated with me because now I've been in the game for a while, and, I previously mentioned that I haven't received that many dopamine molecules in proportion to the work I've had. Now, I've received immense amounts of competence skills, right? I'm not confident at all. I think I'm quite stupid, and that's it. But objectively speaking, I've gained a lot of competence, and anything you want really, that isn't financial gains, from all of this. Now, why has it not materialized into financial gains? Don't ask me now. Could it be my ego thinking I've had competence, and I just really haven't? Because if I had, then it would have materialized into financial gains. Possibly, but I think that financial gains will materialize very soon, and it no matter, right? And the compounding, everything will materialize. Now, and that's not even important. The financial gains aren't the main priority. The main priority is just growing. And I had this in my Transcendence workbook. I previously wrote, after 6 figures and then scaled to 6 figures a month consistently, I put travel. I think it's word by word. Travel with e-com friends, I think. And over the last few weeks, I mentally almost changed that to be just grow. Like travel, sure, for a week or two, and then just grow. Because I wouldn't, maybe I've learned basically over the years to do work with basically no dopamine in exchange, or very, very, very little amounts. Like, sure, I get dopamine, I go viral, I've gotten nearly a billion views, right? I can't, act like this pathetic little piece of shit. And that makes sense because I have competence, right? And naturally from that competence, it materializes into views, into growth, into, skill set. I'm more than competent. I have more than enough competence to get to 6 figures or more to 6 figures or 7 figures with organic. Very, very easily. And yes. Now, let me pause this. Yes, all that to say, basically, I think that, and this not only applies to me, but a lot of people, but naturally it happens where whilst you make financial gains, and so it happens after that you fall into the social status trap. So you make a bunch of money, and because you make a bunch of money, while still delaying gratification, but not it being almost absent, then you fall into the social status trap, and then you realize the social status trap is a trap, and then you obviously grow, or you fuck up, I don't know. I don't really care. I have no clue. Perhaps I'm, oversaying this stuff. But all that to say that I have already seen past the social status trap. I've already understood that the idea that where I am now is just as painful as where I will be. Painful or, joyful, truth be told, as where I will be at 100K a month and $1 million a month and more. Because it's just further along the journey. And I'm quoting Charlie Morgan here. I'm not inventing what I'm saying right now, but truth be told, I think that is correct. And same thing with the gym, I'm sure I'm much bigger than I was, but just further along the journey, I appreciate, I love going to the gym, and I think it's wonderful. By the way, talking about the gym, we can do like 5 muscle-ups, 6 muscle-ups right now, and we're getting way more fluid with them, and we can do HSPU a lot more fluid as well, and we're just progressing. We haven't unlocked new skills, but the skills that we do have become significantly more, fluid and things of that general. Nevertheless, so all that to say, whilst I cook this chicken and I'm about to eat a bit, that yes, I believe I'm more than certain of the fact that I've developed a lot of competence and an ability to work with basically or very little amounts of reward. And I think that this is going to allow me to scale, truth be told, significantly faster than anyone else in the space. And I don't say that to, be egotistical. I understand that very little amounts of people will view this video. And so as a result from that, well, I can, share my thoughts, but I'm just, trying to think about this objectively. If I have an ability to work incredibly well with very little amount of, dopamine, biologically speaking, that's not normal. You hunt and then you get food as a result from hunting. Then this is going to allow me, like the work ethic I've developed, and the competence I've developed, and the skill set and the mindset and the understanding. Whilst I'm still stupid, I think this is going to, certainly materialize into financial success with time. Or with time or with not time, it's just materializing. We're already there, truth be told. And six figures a month, 6 figures with organic. Like, it doesn't really matter, right? All that matters is that I have enough to live and I have enough to invest in the business, right? And grow the business, because what else do you want to do? And yeah, that's about it. So basically, I just wanted to yap a little bit whilst I cook this chicken, because I'm not going to do nothing in the meantime, and now I have more time before I need to film my next PB clip, because I treat these as a little task, because this is not work. I don't count this in my work hours today. Probably yapped for like 30 minutes for my PB, so that's minus 30 minutes of work hours today, which is a lot. On probably today only 6, maybe 7 hours of work today. Today's a school day, but I didn't have that much school, maybe more. And yeah. Also, point out to mention, drinking a warm water is a cheat code for productivity, by the way. Charlie Morgan made a video about this like 3 or 4 years ago, which I've watched before, and I implemented it once, like for just a few weeks, but that was because we were running out of water. Just a few days actually. And I've been consistently doing it now for just a few days, right? Like right now I'm filling with pure cold water, my 1.5 liter water bottle. But drinking warm water, I've been doing just a few, like once a day, at least 1.5 liters a day. And especially this weekend I did it, and it works great. Last time I did it, I didn't really notice anything. I didn't, objectively see the difference and rationalize on the fact that I should keep doing this. Whereas right now, based on what I did this weekend, it's helped a lot. And maybe that's because I'm slightly more like I've gone through a little bit more work since my last holiday in comparison to the last time, so the slight effect has helped more, right? But just letting you guys know, in case you want to know, because yeah, I've really liked it. And if you want to know more about it, just type up like productivity on his Morgan channel, and he'll explain why it's good, but it's great. And I can testify on that. And I also think that I should certainly learn to be more concise in what I say and express my ideas in a more coherent and straightforward, and as a result of that, faster manner. Because I just realized, and I've noticed this before, but I tend to yap for too long to explain simple concepts. And now obviously this is like a raw channel, so it's more of a journal entry, and I'm trying to figure out, what I'm going to say, what's through my mind as I talk. So unless I write notes, but right now, after this gym, that was the case. And but yeah, this is my average sleep score. Holy fuck, man! I just gave him my daily planners, which are, I don't know, it's the holidays right now. I'll give you guys another update on what's been happening in a few days. I'm not gonna do that now, but I'm basically planning the holidays, and I gave you my daily planners for sleep optimization. And bro, I didn't have a graph for sleep since like 2025 and 2026, or 2 different daily planners. But man, good job, Claudius. Bro, my sleep has increased. I'm very happy with this graph. It's looking great, and it's averaging about 7.75. And based on the data he explains, he says that there's a difference between, you know, the focus stat here and here. And I knew there was a difference, but yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this. Like, bro, let's go. Okay, small update, guys. Well, it's not that small, but today is 18th of June, so I don't know how long it's been since my last update, but I'm gonna try and be as concise as possible and articulate relatively well. First, to begin with, I did something with my mirror in the bathroom, which is I just covered it up. So Anthony, if you're watching this, the Krusty Krab posters that we bought are now being used for this, which I suppose is good because the original thought was to stop popping my pimples, which has worked because, you know, if you have no mirror, you're not going to pop them. However, the second order consequences of that have also been drastic, and Charlie Morgan talks a lot about simplifying your personal life. For example, he only wears the same thing every single day, or at least used to. And I didn't realize that I didn't realize before, but now I understand that I was occupying a lot of my neurons on how I looked every single day. For example, if I'm brushing my teeth previously, I would be looking at my mirror unconsciously because I didn't know this to be true. But now that I've covered it up, I realize how freeing it is in terms of my neurons. And I mean, look at my hair right now. It looks fine. It doesn't look any different compared to previously because I don't use any hair products, right? And so it was purely just a waste of neurotic energy. And so this has had very good second order consequences because I no longer flex after working out before taking a shower, which I guess, I mean, it reduces the dopamine you get of working out, right? Because you work out and the dopamine you get from it is seeing your body grow, getting that pump, man, you know? But I'll get a pump like once a week. If I take a shower in my mother's room, for example, then my parents' room, then there's a mirror there, and so I'll see my physique progress. And then since I see it only once a week, it gets bigger every time. It's like, good, man. I'm still pretty skinny, but like, yeah. And so that's the first update. The second update is that I moved my charger here because it was breaking. So now we have like a proper phone structure over here, but that's the minute details. Another thing I wanted to say is we're doing AI videos right now as well. It's very quick. I never got, you know, too preoccupied with AI. I think it's strongly exaggerated. Same thing with, you know, AI agencies. A year ago, a year and a half ago. It's just it's not a different business model, but it's a different marketing angle. And, you know, yeah. And so I started doing that yesterday because there was an opportunity for a specific type of product that I wanted to run. And yeah, I mean, it took me 2 hours to figure it out. And now I'm as good as any other guy. Or not any other guy, but I would say top 80% of people, right? With using AI videos. And like in 2 hours, do you see what I mean? So when people are like, you're gonna fall behind, no, that's nonsense. Because AI is it's not nonsense, that's binary, right? You don't wanna be, you know, binary in what you say, but there's certainly a strong emphasis on being up to date super fast. But truth be told, these AI modules are made to be easy to use, right? And so, I mean, right now, boom, we're already at it with Higgsfield and stuff in 2 hours. I did yesterday. So that's that. Also, thing I wanted to mention is I gave my entire personal journal from last year, that like my personal one that's locked on my MacBook. So since it's locked, I know I can write shit down that is not going to get read. Because if it was running on something else, I wouldn't. So that's why I wrote on the MacBook. It's like 2025. And in a year, and he talks a lot, and I told him to like give me a briefing, things like that. Which, I mean, I gave it to an AI, right? But nevertheless. And he talked about how I should try and focus on feeling emotions rather than analyzing them. Because I have very strong self-awareness, which is an adjective that Anthony Fernandez used to describe me as well on our last call. So it didn't surprise me when ChatGPT used that word as well. Not that I'm very self-aware, I think I'm not at all, and I still have a lot of room to progress, right? But one thing I've developed into doing is feeling emotions before analyzing them. So I'll have the emotion, I'll recognize it, and then I'll teach myself. So what I did, for example, this morning, to feel it, you know, for 30 seconds, and then to analyze it, and then, you know, recognize its excess potential, and then let it go, right? And then again, I remembered this morning a chapter from the Untethered Soul, which I read previously, right? Which was a chapter about like your emotions are naturally trying to go through and exit your body, right? So you feel anger, your body's already automatically trying to, process that anger internally and then let it out because you've processed it. And what most people do is that they add resistance to the anger, and so that's pain, because there's pain, and they're adding resistance to not allow the pain to be felt, right? And then exit the body. And so what I'm focusing now is to feel the emotions and then allow them to naturally exit the body, which was a chapter. I have no clue. I just remembered that this morning from what I read, which is great because it means that I'm remembering, even unconsciously maybe, what I'm reading. And so that's what I'm working on. And then I'll have a higher emotional intelligence. Not I'm emotionally intelligent, but I'm trying to increase that. And that's one thing that I noticed. And another thing, and on top of this, I'm reading Thinking Fast and Slow right now. And it's fucking, like, boy, we have like 6 books only, right? But these 6 books I've read right now, maybe a few more maybe, but there's a really strong combination of metaphysical books like Reality Transurfing and, The Untethered Soul, intuitive books, The Untethered Soul, things like that. And then purely statistical, sociology and mathematical, science-based books, right? Like Thinking Fast and Slow, like Predictably Irrational, right? These books, this is like experiments that have been conducted, and then based on psychology and based on results, based on maths and formulas, this is what we can conduct. This is mathematically correct, and then the other ones are metaphysically correct, right? And then, so it's teaching me, I think the combination of both is really good because now I'm able to go in between like metaphysical shit and mathematical analysis and things, right? Which is non-binary. I can slide between both. And I'm learning. Previously, and this is also something ChatGPT told, my video has just been generated. It took 6 minutes, but it's fine. I'll finish this first. And ChatGPT was talking about how I was slightly too metaphysical. And so one thing I've been focusing on doing a lot in the last few days has been allowing myself to be statistical. Naturally, I'm a very mathematical person. However, over the years, especially doing with organic, which is something I realized I was very happy with. I started at 12 years old doing organic, but before, starting organic, I was a very mathematical person. Maths was part of my life. I was, very scientific, right? And doing organic allowed me to train myself, my creativity, my intuition, and like these things that I wasn't naturally good at. I mean, I was ENTJ already at 12. And it's for intuition, but like you get the idea, creativity especially, which is a trait that I'm very happy to have been able to develop. And so, yes, I don't remember what I was talking about, but I hope I finished my point. On top of this, gym has gone great. Charlie can do the front lever. That's sick, man. I can't do that. But our muscle ups are certainly progressing, and our planche has not progressed at all, but I kind of stopped training it. So I can do tuck planche and that's it, right? Where I stopped, basically. And I'm focusing on muscle up right now. On top of this, I wanted to also point out, so business is going great, man. It's going great. And we're going to materialize this into financial gains. Let me just give you guys a clear view. I made my routine for how this holidays is going to look. But yes, so we are at the holidays, the school holidays. We had our massive, school exams. Today's Thursday, it was on Monday and Tuesday, which I probably will get 20 for both, but like 20 out of 20, or maybe not. I don't really care since, we're not going to pursue anything related to the educational system post 18 years old, right? But everything I do properly because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And, it doesn't take a genius to find out how to get 20 out of 20 in school, because we all know, all entrepreneurs would know that if they ever socially just tried a little bit, it's easy to get 20. Nevertheless, so now that the exams are done, and now that we have proper holidays, which just means proper business work, and we're going to burn ourselves out as much as possible, so that when we actually do go on holidays with my family, I believe we're going somewhere, then I'll just rest there slightly and recuperate, right? And so this is my I don't know if you guys can see this, but, I just planned this shit out. On camera, you can do pause, maybe you won't, but that's my routine for the holidays. So we scale to 6 figures with organic, 10K a month, five figures maybe 7 figures, 9 figures, 8. Then you guys will know that this is the routine that took me there. So you guys can steal it, or you guys cannot steal it. I don't care. Nevertheless, also thing to mention, I never doom scroll, right? And I've said this in my last video, I don't have Instagram on my phone, especially my PB account. I have Instagram on these phones, but these phones are drop spring phones with proper screens and setups. So I never scroll. I haven't scrolled, right? And yesterday I put a story on my Instagram story, which is incredibly rare. I think I do it between every 8 and 16 weeks. But I saw something yesterday, it was quite funny. I just got back from the gym, great. And in the process of, I downloaded Instagram back on my phone. I logged into my PB account, personal brand account, right? With like ecom related algorithms and stuff like that. And like, just so you guys get a clear understanding, it's you don't realize it whilst you have Instagram on your phone, but once you don't have it and then you use it, you'll see. And this is, if you're watching this, anyone like doing ecom, let me first explain and then you'll see. But I put a story, okay, and then all I did was watch 3 reels. 3, so that's maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes. At most, I didn't scroll because that's not what I do. And I was smart about it. You just go onto Instagram, you post your story, and that's it. But in those 3 reels, I didn't feel angry, I didn't feel jealous, but there was something about it, man. I haven't been able to identify it. Maybe it was, I have no clue what the name of the emotion would be, but it completely fucked your brain, man. Like completely. I think it puts you in a place of watching others instead of focusing on your business or your company. Like I watched 3 reels. In those 3 reels, the first one I remember was a guy opening a Shopify dashboard with like 5K a day in the morning. And the audio was like a loud car engine. And it was literally like type of shit locking in or something like that, okay? That was the first one, I remember. Like, you see, this is proof that, like, I never scroll, because if I asked you to name the last reels that you watched, the second one was something, I don't remember the other 2, see? That's the danger of Instagram, right? You're not even conscious whilst you're there. Nevertheless, and so that completely, I had to spend like 2 minutes, allowing the emotions to dissipate. Of 3 reels. Now imagine how many reels you watch. And like Instagram stories, same thing. Another thing I noticed is I checked, like this morning, I checked who liked my story, who saw it. Because that's what I usually do, right? I only post every 16 weeks. But that like completely fucked. I realized, since I hadn't done it in 16 weeks, it completely fucks your emotions as well. Why would you give 2 fucks if someone liked your story, man? So what I do, I already have Instagram stories blocked. And people I follow have probably noticed this. I have Instagram on my computer because that's how I do, I do organic, right? You cannot do organic dropshipping or organic marketing without having Instagram on your computer, right? But I have all stories blocked, so I never watch any people's stories. It's a complete waste of time. Then it's a waste of neurons on your brain as well, because now every time you go on your computer, you're gonna have a addictive want to check on stories. Did someone post a story? And I blocked stories about a month and a half ago. And now I blocked the actual story link with leak block, so I can't go on my own stories. Does that make sense? Let me open Instagram for you guys. So now I have my own story here, right? And so because I blocked the link, if you put like link stories, it'll delete the page. So let me do this. So if I click on the story button here, it closes the page. Because yeah, that's pretty cool. But that's it. And so that's that. And we've become a lot more statistical and a lot more emotionally intelligent, although we are still stupid. And, we're nothing close to anything significant. But we're close enough to be at 6 figures. More than close, we're already there, really. And 6 figures is not very significant at all, but it's a pretty easy thing, and it's going to allow us to obviously scale the company even more. So that's the main point. So to recap, I've become a lot more emotionally intelligent, at least. But I'm still stupid and have room for progress. It's a lot more statistical, and it's great because it's my natural way of being. Okay, if you were to say, like, maybe it's genetically, or maybe it's because from ages 0 to 12, before I started to take autonomy in my life, my parents strongly pushed, scientific methods, scientific reasoning, and maths and physics onto me, right? Obviously, I was still doing a lot of sports, they were great, but it's a great thing that they allowed me to develop, because now, I'm a lot more mathematical. And so I've been, forcing myself to be like that. For example, and I've logged everything onto a Google Sheet, and I know that mathematically speaking, if I run a brand new product on Instagram, I will not go viral in the United States. This is maths, okay? I've ran 50 products. I think about like 20% of them, I think it was 35% of them go viral. have gone viral. Obviously, like now if I run a product, it's more likely to go viral than previously. And a lot of them, and I think every single one of them, or most of them, have gone viral, not in the United States, right? And if I post a brand new product, a brand new account, statistically speaking, that account will only get like 50 to 100 views for the first, I don't know how many videos. That's maths. Statistically speaking, if I run a product on YouTube Shorts, I have like an 80% chance of going viral, and then 100% chance of going in the United States, and then it's all about converting, right? And then if I post on TikTok, I have like a large chance of going viral with 100% chance if I go viral in the United States. So mathematically and statistically speaking, TikTok and YouTube Shorts is the way to go. For me, specifically. Does that make sense? Now, that doesn't mean you should neglect Instagram, but it means that from a statistical standpoint, my go-to platforms are TikTok and YouTube. End of discussion. That's maths, that's statistical. Now you can use intuitive answers and be like, yes, but right now, we're not at 6 figures. So maybe the key to getting to 6 figures is going to be unlocking Instagram. Does that make sense? But then statistically speaking, you won't unlock Instagram. And then intuitively speaking, you can, digress from that statistical standpoint and see the fact that, yes, maybe. But if we iterate and we find a solution towards the Instagram problem, which I've done, which I figured out, and I'm not going to tell you it, but yeah, it took me a while to figure it out. But we're in the process of doing it, and it seems to be working right now. But we'll see, I'll let you guys know. And now you unlock Instagram, and now you have all 3 platforms which are unlocked, etc. My content, for example, is insane. And like, I don't think it's insane, I think it's so shit, and we still have a way to go. But the content itself is really, really good, and I'm very happy. It's 1 to 5 million view videos. Every single video I make. Especially with the products that I'm now posting, because they've gotten a lot better at these specific types of products. It's good, man. It's good. So now we just need healthy accounts. I said it previously in another clip. I was like saying, the content is super good and we need to do the good accounts, man. But the content then was mid. And I gave it to my mentor. Even he said it was mid. And we've iterated a lot since then. We've improved the vibe, because the vibe was completely off previously. And it looks a lot better now for all products, not just the one I showed my mentor. Or my friend, Anthony. So that's about it, truth be told. And we're about to lock in. We are already locked in, right? And scale the company to large numbers, man. Scale the brands. And that's about it. This is my first time using Claudius for Shopify stores. And I'm not going to show you the screen, unfortunately. I can show you this. Like, it's working. I don't want to reveal the product and brand, but yeah, it's pretty cool, so I thought I'd talk about it. And yeah, look at this sky, boys. I hope you guys can see that. Can you see that? Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just the perfect conditions? Look at this. This is my window, man. I'm working right here. And I got this, bro. This is peak work. And yeah. What? Wait. So I'm running multiple brands, as you guys know. And last drop that I did with a custom skateboard brand, custom skateboard deck, ended with only $700 and something in revenue, and we got about 8 million views. And even when we got a full million views, I believe our biggest day was like 40 email signups in a day. Okay, email signups, because you get a bunch of people to sign up to the drop, and then you do a big drop, you get a big massive day, and then you pay those manufacturers to produce X amount of units for the product, and then you ship them out 6 weeks later, and people know that it's a pre-order drop, etc. Here, okay, and last night I realized when I posted that we got like 220k view videos for just one of the products that my mentor said was mid, but I didn't cut it because I understood that the problem was the vibe of the videos and the vibe that was giving off, and I fixed the vibe, as I said previously. And now the videos are a lot better. And as a result of that, we got two 20K view videos. And so yesterday I was like, you know what, let's just like cut the website that I'm running right now, since it hadn't generated orders at all, put up the password page, and then collect signups, right? And one sign up is about 6 USD in my previous drop, right? Because I did the maths, it was about like that. Now, I don't think that's a good reference, and it might change, but between last night and today, which is about 12 p.m., so not even 24 hours, we got about like 80 signups, which is nothing, right? But it's not nothing, because compared to before, this product converts like fucking crazy, man. And we'll see, but I just realized this, and I'm posting right now, and I was like, whoa, we got 80 signups. So that's it as well. I might as well do a little bit more. I just learned this morning that Daniel Terry had a Raw channel, and our bro's getting smarter, man. I don't know if he's watching this or not, but no matter, for everybody else who's watching it, like, his Raw channel's great, man, and he's actually giving good advice. It's good to see him evolve and grow, because I've been watching his content for a bit, and you know, he's only about 2 years older than me. He's my big sister's age, and not to say that I think I've been able to see him grow. Not that I already, you know, unlocked the mental aspects, which he's only unlocking now. Not at all. However, there are some things which I perhaps mentally unlocked previously, which I see him unlocking now, and some things that he teaches me at the same time. And I'm like, shit, man, bro's getting smarter. Not only because you know, to get to 6 figures, 1K a day, it's not difficult at all. Right, just work, and then it'll materialize. But then intellectual development, not necessarily in terms of intelligence, but in terms of ability to, you know, to exercise will and go through resistance and reduce excess potential and understand your emotions and understand everything. I just wanted to say that it's great to see him get smarter. I don't know. I have a feeling when I watch his videos, because I don't watch YouTube, as you guys know. I don't, you know, scroll or do anything. And like, for example, bro was talking about scrolling and how he's minimizing his scrolling. It's good to see people starting to do that, because I have 0, you know, minutes of scrolling, and I'm very helpful for that. Very grateful for that, because I set it up. I spent a shit ton of time setting up my screen Zen setups, my posting phones, because I'm posting a lot of videos. And so there's so much temptation all the time to scroll, right? Because if you have Instagram on your phone, you will scroll. End of discussion. Statistically speaking, at least based on my experience. Okay, maybe there are a few exceptions out there, but... And yeah, I just wanted to say that. I think it's really wonderful to see. Yeah, and that's about it. So I just saw that he had a Raw channel, and so I listened to them this morning when I was posting. At the same time, because posting takes me like 45 minutes now, considering I post like a lot of videos every day. One post, and I post twice a day, right? And yeah, I wanted to just talk about the signups, and then we have the second custom brand product, which has a bunch of signups as well. So I don't know how many exactly. And then we're starting paid ads as well, but we're taking it slow. For example, I have organic filming products, right? So that's my first block of the day, and I'll do that for, you know, 5 hours, maybe 4 hours, depending on how long it takes me. And if it takes me 8 hours that day, I will do 8 hours. Now, that's never happened, except that's my priority, okay? That's my main focus. And then on top of that, I have AI videos, except I have a limited amount of tokens. I have specific ideas that I want to execute on with the AI. And so that only takes me about a few hours at most. And then after that, I'm launching ads, because I have enough money to start ads. And I have reasons to start ads. But again, we haven't started anything. I'm just making the brand store right now. And that's basically my schedules. And we had tennis this morning, which was alright. And yes, I upgraded my scrolling protection things on my phones as well, because I scrolled for like a little bit yesterday, and I talk about scrolling that I don't, but it does. I do rarely, right? And then when it happens, you just fix it, and then it becomes 0 minutes. 0 minutes. So like probably last week I probably scrolled for like a full hour at least last week. In a week. Or like an hour and a half, right? If you combine all the little minutes. And I'm trying to get that to 0. Because what I have on my posting phones is that the feeds are not at all related to ecom. It's just like random droid bait type shit. And so it doesn't mess up with my mind, right? It just makes me smile. Because it's like, you know, social, extroverted, or not necessarily extroverted, but social events, people talking up to strangers, things like that. It was very easy to set that up. And now I'm working towards minimizing that 1 hour and a half a week to 0. And I'm more than confident there's going to be a very large difference because, yeah, we'll see. Maybe it won't change. It'll give me at least an hour and a half because I don't necessarily feel any mental stimulation from the time that I spend scrolling, even if it's very little, but it's still, you're being unconscious during that time, man. You're just wasting, like, you're being unconscious. You're not even conscious, you know, so, yeah. And yeah, I'm just yapping. This is the coolest shit I've done in a while, bro. I realized that Shopify has their own AI when you go on the homepage that builds stores for you, and it does a lot more than the Claude can do. It can do everything. You can go into your theme editor, use my Shrine Pro theme and add custom sections and things. So most people are just using Claude to make their store for them. I've noticed a few AI guys, which turns out to be behind. And well, not behind, that's you know, criticizing, and it still works great. But I figured out something else, which is crazy. I get Claude to write me prompts, which is very simple, it's not complex, but to write me prompts to then give to Shopify's AI, which then builds everything properly. Like really, it's crazy. And is it slower than if I were to do it? I don't know, but it's better. I wouldn't say it's slower. This is my first time doing it, so obviously I'm not as fast, right? But it's great. And what he renders me is better than if I were to do it alone. He uses Shrine Pro better than me. It's great. So I just wanted to let you guys know. So for all ecom boys watching, which I don't think are many, but yeah, at least now you guys know, unless you already knew. But today is the 30th of June, so this is why I'm filming, so that we can post this video tomorrow, bro. And first of all, workout has been going great, bro. You see, bro, just from this, I'm still skinny, right? But just from this, you can kind of see my pecs, bro. Bro. We're getting jacked, slowly but surely, man. So, the first thing I wanted to say was that I'm about to go to bed, and the reason I'm filming now is because I launched my first ad campaign. Fun coupons. Yeah, so I launched my first ad campaign for $50 a day today, and it's a coincidence, like out of intention, my boy, man. So this is like a teaser for the next episode, for the 10% of the 50 views I'm gonna get on this video, which is 5 people, with one of them being my sister. So for random people who are gonna see this is the teaser episode of the next episode, where we're gonna see if the campaigns are profitable. Because obviously tomorrow morning when I wake up, we'll have information on whether it's profitable or not. And normally, according to the maths and how I've set everything up, it should be more than profitable, like by far, because the target ROAS is very, very low, like insane low. So the product is really good, and everything, the marketing, I'm telling you boys, we're rich. Not only that, like, bro, we're getting thicker, and so I'm waking myself up too much. I need to go to bed. How posh do I want to sound? I need to go to bed, daddy. So, first thing to say, we started ads and we're at $50 a day. I set the campaign today. what a coincidence, bro. This is the 30th of June. I need to end this video and then start the new one, where the new one is going to be the next month and a half, the end of Q2, Q3. We're in Q2, Q6. See, we're in Q2, bro. And what did I say in my warm-up? And in my warm-up, it literally says to start ads in the month of, in the start of Q3, which I believe starts tomorrow. Yes. So it's basically all on time, man. Yes, let's go. And on top of that, I figured out, so, as you guys know, I do organic. I have a few brands with organic. And then on top of that, I have AI videos with like a mix of reposting. Kind of like, mix the two together, get a cool ass combination, and boom, now you got a cool organic guy. And then ads, which is what I've been working on a lot in the last 2 weeks, man. In the last full week, actually, to be frank. I figured out that I was going to start doing ads on the 24th of June. And today is the 30th of June. So, yeah, it's been a few days actually. And it's pretty good, man. And everything's looking good. We got everything accepted. We didn't get any bans, any bum, all smooth. Now, as for the payment processes, as for under whose name it is, because I can't use my parents' shit, right? Nor do I have any bank accounts or any phone numbers that I can use to verify anything. So, some of it is under my big brother's name. Some of it is under a friend of my big brother's name. None of it is under my name. So if something happens, it's not under my name. I'm not the responsible one. Obviously, this is just a joke, right? This is just a joke. It's all under my name probably. Right? And so that's it. Now for organic, insane as well. We're like 350 signups. Wow. For like, not that many views to be frank. Probably 150k, 200k on TikTok. On the zip up and sweatpants that I designed. I won't tell you guys the theme, but which is alright. And I'm only showcasing the zip up right now. But yes, and then the second custom product, Alibaba, is doing pretty trash, but I updated the backgrounds, which I know every time I iterate on content, right? The first thing I do is improve the background, and you just iterate, you change the background, and you make it better. And here, I don't know what was happening. I think it's because I was being so focused on ads, and I wasn't properly, I was focusing on organic, but only a few hours every day, like 3 or 4 at most. Because organic, even if I'm running 4 products right now, or 3 that I'm filming with, right? It doesn't take you fucking 12 hours a day of work, man. Okay, because I'm working a lot right now, and we're reading so much. I'm not going to talk about that later. I need to be more concise and more articulate. So organic is doing great, and we're trying to scale as much as possible, including healthy accounts and better content in general. Because I've previously said a lot in this video that there was account problems. Partially, I think that's true because my content is really good. That's not ego, that's just objective reality. However, you want to be iterating and improving on everything. You rather be at 100% content instead of 90% to then mitigate the fact that you might have an ever so slightly less healthy account, and boom, right? So that's that. On top of this, AI videos, I ran out of Higgs field tokens, which is fine because I found a new solution, which involves reposting. So we have a new solution. I found a completely old product based on a current product that was doing so well. People are getting hundreds of millions of views of that product. So I was like, you know what? Let me spend 30 minutes thinking, using my big brain. And we found something. So now we're doing that. And on top of that, we have ads, which I started $50, fun coupons, boys. And tomorrow, or in a month and a half, for everybody watching this, which is only about 10% of 50 views, I believe, you guys will have to wait a full month and a half, man. Maybe not my sister, because she's going to come over in the holidays before then. So if we lost all of our money, we have about 900 left euros in my big brother's bank account that I can spend. So we'll see. Either I spend everything. So the next video is going to be either I spend everything and we've lost everything. We've lost all our fun coupons. We only have like 25k. left in my dad's bank account that I can't touch, right? So in the end, we're chilling because we have a little bit of money right into my dad's bank account. That from past stuff, and the only money that I have in a big brother's like bank account that I can actually spend is about $900 left out of like 3K there. So either we spend it and we lose all the money. We've lost some fun coupons. Wolf of Wall Street type shit. Or we spend it. It's profitable. It's super profitable. And then we start scaling. And then boom, organic goes viral. Boom, we have a drop for organic that I need to do in end of July as well for the, the thing we have 350 signups for. Boom, we do a 50K day drop with that. On top of this, we scale ads to $1 billion every single day. Hong Kong dollar coming in clutch, huh? And then more AI videos go viral. And then boom, we do $1 trillion in revenue in July or in Q3. And on top of this, we unlock the fucking front planche or the front lever or the full planche. And now boom, we've maxed out everything. What do you call that? I call that success, man. So the book I'm currently nearly done with is Thinking Fast and Slow. I've talked about it a lot. This book combined with Predictably Irrational is magnificent. They talk about the same points: endowment effect, metacognition, the amalgam thing, which is responsible for your, emotional arousal, and a bunch of other stuff. Market norms, social norms, all of this stuff might sound like fugazi for you. But for me, it sounds like 2 + 2 is 4, -1 is strict math. It's the basic stuff. So this book I'm nearly done with, as you guys can see. It's beautiful, and they're really good. I love it because it's getting me back into that mathematical fucking guy that I used to be before. I started reading Reality Transurfing and all of these, The Untethered Soul, and which are great books. But now, I have a full brain. I have boom, my left brain, my right brain, and boom, my left brain, and boom, you have a massive brain. And previously I said I was stupid. I think that was the wrong term. I'm smart, but smart itself is an adjective which doesn't qualify an individual to know a lot. It just means that he has more knowledge than the average person in specific fields. But he still knows nothing in proportion to what he could learn. And that's what I meant. Right? Because I still know nothing. There's so much to learn, bro. Every book I read, every piece of work that I consume is knowledge in the brain that you can then use to process feedback in the system, to then get better inputs, to then get better outputs, and let the environment give you the results, and boom, now you have more feedback to iterate. So this book is great, and I've learned a lot about irrationality, rational, the experiencing self, the remembering self, duration neglect. This is a bad case of duration neglect. You are giving the good and the bad of your part of your experience equal weight, although the good part lasted 10 times as long as the other. So in theory, rationally speaking, the good part lasted much longer than the bad part, and as a result, this was a good experience. However, you're going to assign equal value to the good and bad part because the bad part, you're loss averse, right? So if you were to take a bet, you would rather have, if you you either lose $100 or you gain 200 because you're loss averse. Most people are loss averse, so they'll rather, the equivalent of losing $1 is the sum equivalent of that. The aggregate sum is winning 2 because you need to get 2 times more positive for it to equalize the feeling of losing because you're loss averse, right? And there are many things in this book that I'm learning, and I am in the process of trying to read more, like an hour plus every single day. And I'm nearly done with this book, and then we'll be done with this thick-ass book. And then we're going to have a full set brain, and then we're starting proper marketing books like Breakthrough Advertising, which Daniel Terry has beautifully marketed for me, man. I'm buying this book, I'm reading it. I already had it in my list, but based on what he said, it seems like a great-ass book, man. So we're going to learn a lot about marketing because now we have the foundations, man. One step at a time. He got this. So that's about it. Now, another thing I wanted to say. I journaled a lot 2 days ago, so on the 28th. A lot, man. I journaled for, 30 minutes plus another 30, which is a full hour. 60 minutes, man. I journal once a week now, no longer once every day, from 12 to 15 years old. And we have to say, it's pretty good, man. So this probably looks so childish, but I love it, man. It's great. This is a good personality. Everything is relative, right? But let me lock in and spread the word for you guys, so then I can sleep. We journaled a lot. And I processed a lot of emotions, and it was great. And one thing I realized about my own self is the term thinking about thinking, which is called metacognition. Now, if you've never heard of this term before, I hadn't until I typed it up. Thinking about thinking. Truly think about this. I think this is the unique, not the unique, that's binary, but a great way to self-develop, and then as a result, develop in any term of goal that you have. For the 5 people watching this video, type it up, metacognition. All it is, I realized that that's what I was really good at. That's what I'm really good at, is iterating on your thinking. It's thinking about your thinking. I'm thinking about the fact that I'm thinking about some thinking. And if you want to go even further, instead of the course seller who sells the course on the course seller, to sell the course seller, you think about your thoughts, about thoughts, and then you realize you go deeper and deeper. You use Socratic reasoning, and you analyze yourself. You figure out how your reality is moldable, right? You can change. I have so many different transcendence workbooks, right? Let me open this for you in large, so you guys, and I have old ones as well. So here is old, and in the old ones, I have another, probably five files. And all of these are traits which have now become who I am. But 6 months ago, those were not who I was. Those did not describe me. Act first and think second. Now, this is a very stereotypical ENTJ trait, I believe. So perhaps I was more like that, but I have a sheet. I have a literal sheet where I used to not be like that, and I wanted to act first and think second. Clarity precedes action. I went back over my old sheets today, and it was beautiful to see. I've literally become those people. I've adopted those personality traits. I still need a voice max. Learn to talk with a deeper voice. But it's wonderful. So one thing I recommend, is metacognition, the art of thinking about thinking. You catch yourself, or perhaps you don't necessarily do that, but me, I'll catch myself analyzing something instead of feeling it. So then I'll be like, shut up, nigga. Wait. Okay, I said the N-word, but wait. Let's just feel this, and then it'll pass naturally. No need to waste our time. Or clarity precedes action. So action first. Spend the money. Fun coupons, man. Fun coupons. And then clarity comes from that. It's just action. And then clarity precedes that, right? So now I'm yapping. But this is going to be the end of Q2 part 2. And now we have Q2 part 3. Q3 part 1. And we're going to be rich. Because that's what we do. Or we're going to have lost a bit of money and iterate it. Or not. Maybe we're going to lose 50 overnight. And we're going to iterate. And then we're going to win 500,000 in dongs. So maybe a little bit less in dollars. But so that's about it. So really, I'm very happy because I'm so detached. And I've really, accomplished that Jack Sparrow type shit. Like, I've mathematically prepared, for example, the ad campaigns, right? Because you're spending money. But for me, I've mathematically analyzed everything and I've done everything properly, and I'm going to be profitable probably. And if I'm not, it doesn't matter. It just started to iterate, right? It's feedback in the system that's going to be used to get better inputs, and then go through the process and then get better outputs, and then the environment, our intention, and other things that are going to help for that, which is normal, proceeding, normal system thinking, right? And we are joking about it, which is literally Jack Sparrow type shit. I'm having fun about it. We're gonna make $10 billion today, right? But sure, that's exaggerated and it's funny, it's humoristic, boom, boom, boom. But I mean, we're jacked. What's the connection, man? You see, my mind is just going over, man. And it's not always that, but maybe it's because I listen to music when I work now. You know, sometimes I'll listen to Minecraft songs, as you guys probably noticed, which I love. It's beautiful. I love working without, but now recently, and sometimes I'll listen to piano, and recently over the last 2 days, because I learned that Sam Evans, which is a billionaire, by the way, listens to any type of music he wants. He just listens to Spotify, right? So I was like, man, sometimes we can just listen to random music. Sometimes I'll just be working on, I'll have this British rap type song, or sometimes I'll be listening to some chill Minecraft audio, or sometimes I'll be listening to piano, or sometimes I'll be listening to, like, just, you know, this typical beats on, like, Stereo Love or some shit like that. Or sometimes I won't have music. For example, like, usually, if I need to think, I'll turn off music, because I just can't think, and use my neurons, the electrical circuit of my brain, to fucking think. Now, why was that so mean to say? I don't know. You ask me. Either way, this is going to be the end of the video, boys. Very successful second part of the quarter. Not only have our physical gains dramatically increased, not only can we do 5 to 6 muscle ups in a row, clean, 2 arms at once. Not only can we do, 20 to 25 kilogram pull-ups. Not only can we do 25 kilogram dips. Not only can we nearly do knee Russian push-ups, man. Or maybe not quite, but reverse ones at least, right? Negatives. Not only can we easily do handstand push-ups, not only are we learning to do L-sit to handstand, we're not there yet at all. Charlie is there, nearly. We are maxing out ourselves because business is one of the best vehicles for personal development. Not the only, but one of the best. So that's very happy, and I've been learning a lot. Yeah, experiencing emotions, and my emotional intelligence has dramatically increased, I think, although I still have a lot to learn. Social intelligence as well. And these are the holidays, so I can just read and consume knowledge and work, and that's what I love to do. And now it's 9:40, and tomorrow I'm waking up at 5:30, and considering it's the holidays, I'm trying to sleep 8 hours a day, because I have 12 hours of work to do every day. So I'd rather sleep longer and gain 20% in productivity on that, which 20% of 12 is 2.4, right? So do you see what I mean? Just by sleeping 0.5 hours more, you're gaining 2.4 hours extra. So you do the subtraction, that's 3.9, right? In theoretical work. I hope that made sense. So I'm 15 minutes behind on my sleep schedule. Normally I go to bed at 9:15, but that's fine. My big brother is in Vietnam as well currently, which is fabulous, man. He's a great help, and he's bulking, man. He has a good physique. He started the gym. He has a good ass physique. He's bulking, right? He's not cut, but he has a good physique, and in a few months he'll start cutting. I don't know when. I don't care, but bro's in good shape. Bro's in good shape, and bro has the good ass diet, man. He eats so much, it's great to see, and it's good because it pushes me to eat more, right? Because he's still eating, and he's eating super fast, and so I'll be like, unconsciously, right? I can feel that I'm eating, or I'm naturally eating more in the last 3 days with him here than previously, and it'll likely, I'll go up a little bit, he'll go down a little bit, and I'll have slightly increased, and he'll have slightly decreased, probably. Nevertheless, that's 20 minutes of talking, but I think it was a relatively enticing. Is that a word? I don't know. We're not going to know. Enticing verbal adventure here. I'm nearly done with Thinking Fast and Slow. And then I'm going to read whatever my next book is. The thing, I don't learn the authors. Daniel Kahneman. I probably pronounced that badly. And although he's not going to watch this video, I apologize. But I remember the names of the books that I read and the information inside of them, which is what I would consider to be of use. And I have a proper reading tracker now, which I kind of copied Charlie Morgan. Excuse me, man. I've copied a little bit about him, but not that much. I iterate. I made it better, basically, without criticizing him. Not better, just more attuned to me. Now I can track my reading speed, which is like here, right? So it's pretty slow because I'm a pretty slow reader, but I'm trying to get faster at reading while still remembering everything. And that's about it. So, peace, boys.